Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to my channel, Fishing with Mr. J, here on YouTube. I appreciate you tuning in, and we're getting pretty close on my new build of my Nucanoe. Today we're going to tidy up some of the final major things on this bad boy in this video. We are going to get this Garmin Vivid 5C fish finder. We're going to get it hooked up to run off this nocqua 12-volt battery. That's the major goal of today's video. We're going to have to wire up the little harness wire to do that, and we're going to have to put in our, I don't got it right now, we're going to have to put in our transducer, which goes in the floor so we can put it up and down to see where the fish are next year. Last time when we left, the battery was not charged. I'm happy to tell you that today the battery is charged. As you can see over there, we got our throttle hooked up. You can see I moved the Newport battery to under the seat. So that's out of the way. I think that's pretty much where I'm going to want it. I don't know if I got to lift it up, but I think it's good in the hazards. And it'll be good for, just sitting like that and taking it out when I'm done. We got that battery hooked up to this throttle and motor. Now the first thing I see with this is it goes from 0 to 100 quick. So you're going to have to get used, I am going to have to get used to just kind of easing it on slowly. As you can see, this thing is humming. You can probably hear it. Let me get you to where you can hear the motor. I'll get a little closer. That's howling. That's 79%. 100. Hear it. Also got reverse. Bang, bang, bang. And it's on the tray next to the swivel seat, so wherever you turn into fish, you're going to be good to go. You can see in the back here, we got this flag that's on this pole that adjusts up and down, and it's got a light on here. I just don't have a battery yet, but we got a light so we'll be seen out there. Nice little flag. And as you can also see, we got this short stack box that we got behind our seat that we can open up. And hopefully the seat, we can swivel it around, straddle our feet, and be able to get in there. I wasn't really sure how this thing's supposed to tie down. It didn't come with anything. I had one of these tie down straps that I got, so that's just what I'm using back here. I don't need it really for anything else. But that'll be nice to be able to put some snacks in, put some extra tackle, some towels, a dry bag. We got plenty of space up here with that and the gear pod. Now a couple other things you can see that we got are the paddle over there. It's going to come in handy. We got it all sealed up to the thing so we don't lose it. And we got a little carabiner so we can put our pliers on there so we can get the fish out. We also added and got this adjustable, I haven't really figured it out yet, this adjustable camera pole for my second GoPro view, which I think I'm going to do here instead of over the shoulder. I'm still not sure. I know I'm going to have a couple angles. So far I think I want it here up because you get the front view from my chest mount, my neck mount here. And I also have an old GoPro 8, 7, I don't know, one of the ones, and it can go right underwater. So when I catch a fish this year, I've been seeing it on some other videos, I can just release the fish and hold the GoPro and you can see a underwater release. So I'm super excited about that, which hopefully I can catch more fish because we're going to hook up this Garmin Vivid 5C fish finder. Now there's lots of storage in this gear pod. You know, we're going to have the battery for this so I don't have to change it, and the battery for the Garmin, which will both be the nocqua. This is a 12 volt, just comes in this case. You know, you can also put it around the pole if you want to move it around, and I got to move this pole. But I think I'm just going to wire everything to go right into the gear pod and just have the wires run down the sides into each of these things. Perfect. So before we can wire up our Garmin to power it, we got to wire up the power cord so it can plug in to the nocqua and then plug into the Garmin. Hopefully you can see, it's kind of bad lighting. We got to get this cord over here and connected to this cord. This cord goes to the fish finder, this cord goes to the battery. Now it seems pretty simple, we just need these little connect things here. Got these to clamp with. Needle nose pliers would be better, but this will work. Clip it tight. Not coming out. Now make sure you got the black wire to the black wire and the red wire to the red wire. All right, the fidgety stuff doesn't really appeal to me, and it's really hard to use my fingers for small things, but we got them together. Now before we give these a little heat seal and put this little strap, this little black thing to keep it safe from water over it, we're gonna make sure we test it and make sure they're hooked up good and it works. Fish finder end will go into the fish finder. The other side will hook into the nocqua battery. You see there's 2 arrows. I'm not too confident, but let's see if we get some power. Oh, shit, yeah, baby. Oh, man. We'll have a setup on that later, but we do have power. That's the important part. I gotta tell you, I didn't think that was gonna power up, but I did it. Let's unscrew this, unplug that, get back to the workshop here, and for these you just need a little lighter. Try to heat it up before your fingers burn, I guess. I thought it was faster than that. Let me turn the lighter down. There we go. A little smaller flame. There we go. Now this little black piece is supposed to go over this to hold it now so that don't get wet. And the same thing, heat it up. You just gotta get the ends so it seals. I was burning the shit out of my finger. Get this long lighter. Probably a heat gun or something would be better, but this will be fine. You just want to shrink it so it, you know, doesn't get wet. Shouldn't get wet in the gear pod, but you know, this will hold everything together nice. I would advise you to get some kind of heat gun so you can do this a lot faster than with the long old lighter and burning the shit out of yourself. We got it on. I'm burning the shit out of myself. There's a better way to do it, get a gun, but we got it complete. It's sealed up and we're good to go. Now we just take the end of the Garmin, put it in the battery slot, plug it in. Take our plug to the nocqua, plug it in. You know, you can run your wires how you want. That's fine to me. Close her down. And just like that, we're finding fish. Almost finding fish. This is the transducer, which also needs to plug to the fish finder. So we have to get this together so we can get it to be able to be in the water so the cord can come to the fish finder. And how we do that is the Nucanoe transducer retract system. That's what this is right here. Now, as you can see, there's a hole in the middle of the boat here, right underneath your feet, and that is where we're going to put this to feed the cables up through, and then we can lower and raise the transducer when we need to. Before we can put that in, there's a few things we have to do to this to be able to make that happen. So let's get back to the workbench. Before we get to the retract system, we have to get the transducer ready. So you can see this little bracket that comes with it just sits right on the holes there. I mean, you can't really put it in the wrong spot because it just only lines up one way. And it comes with these little nuts and washers. So there's only one place for this to go, only one way, it looks like. I still got it on the bubble wrap because I don't want to scratch it or damage it. I want to try to keep it as good as I can. I mean, it's going to happen a little bit out in the real world, but we'll wait till we get out in the water for that to happen. Transducer is mounted to the little bracket the only way it can be. Now we got to get that mounted to this. Now this comes with a little, with a couple more pieces in here, and I had to get a different bolt because I had damaged the other one already, but first thing you got to do is take this little side arm off right here so we can get the wire inside. So you just remove these 3 screws right here. Take this little arm off. There, jeez. Let's take that little arm off there. Now we got our transducer cord that will run up through the boat. Take our little cap off here. And we want to take our ring off through here. And you can see there's 2 little spots here. You got the cord on one, and the bigger one is for the wire. And then you take this cord and you run it up through. I don't know, put the cap on. I'll run it up. I got the cap on so I could grab it. Now it doesn't fit all this shit on the wire. It doesn't help getting through. But once you get that part through, it slides up and in there pretty easily. And that's where you need it, is inside that piece there. Now we got to get our transducer mounted to this, which you'll put one of these with the washer and then one of these little plugs. One side has grooves, which I think will hold on the thing. So that's the way I'm going to do it. It doesn't really specify, but then you put that on there. Another ball with the grooves in and a washer. Now we get our arm, and you get them all lined up. And you can start screwing them back in. Got them tight. Now we just got to tighten them. You just want to make sure that's kind of level with this thing here. See how it hangs a little bit? You kind of just tighten it so it's on a little angle. I don't want to tighten it too much because then it won't go up and down. So you just want it tight, not tight. Right? Kind of like so. Pull it all the way through. They give you a ridiculous amount of wire. They should make a kayak version for this. All right, now that we got this all wired up, we got to get this wired through there. Down here, kind of weave it through. They give you a ridiculous amount of wire. I mean, I know it's for a boat, but for a kayak, this is like I got to go right here. That's it. Now we take the end of our wire and we put it through our cap that will hold the plug in. Once again, a ridiculous amount of wire. But I guess if you got to go on a big ass boat, you're going to need a lot of wire. Well, you can see we just set it down right on top of there. Now we'll hold the thing up and we'll plug it up and screw it on to hold it in place. Now hopefully you can see what I'm doing here, and we'll get it up in the hole. It's got to come to the back. How it lines up. First you got to shove that thing through the hole. Jeez. I got to make sure it's lined up right. Get it through the hole up here. And this thing can spin. So we're in the right directions. As you can see, it's up. Spin it down tight. Now, if I get it right, it should, when I pull it, go up. Look at. There is a little clamp that you can screw down before I go on the water and I finally screw something in the boat. You screw it right there and it'll hold you down when you hold it up to go over the water. So you'll be up and you'll be down. That's freaking awesome, man. We got her. I can't believe it. I am the least mechanically inclined person there is. I'm just a barbarian. I hate fidgeting with screws and shit, and I did get frustrated at times. But overall, this was very simple for even a brain-dead moron like me to do. And, you know, we just got to tidy up a few things, like getting our anchor wizard on to the front. We got to get a little special piece of something that we can screw the anchor wizard to. And that is pretty much about it. And then we got to get our fishing poles in here. And then other than that, we pretty much just got to wait. Oh, and I'll also have to raise up the motor a little bit. I think it's just a little low. You can't really tell till you're in the water, but I think it's got to be raised up a few inches. And other than that, we just pretty much have to wait for spring, at least a thaw and a slight warm up, so we can get this bad boy out and test her on the waters. You never know what's going to happen. I would assume my first trip with this bad boy, the inaugural boat run, will be on Bass Lake because I know it'll be calm and I know I'll be able to really get a good feel for what this thing does, and I know I'll really be able to catch some fish and that they're in there, and we'll be able to test out all this stuff on Bass Lake. For that, we'll have one more video of me going over some baits. I might stretch it into two and do last year's baits and this year's baits, but I think I'm just going to do one bait video on the baits I used last year that worked and the baits I'm looking forward to trying out and using this year. As always, I thank you for watching. Hopefully, you know, you're encouraged to just get out there and try some shit. I mean, you don't have to go extravagant like me. I'm kind of an over-the-top person. But I plan on getting lots and lots of hours in this bad boy over the next couple years. And then who knows where we go from there. But I do know that we're going to keep on fishing. I don't know what to say. I kind of just want to say, let's fish, bitch! This thing is awesome. Oh, man. Love it.